Good afternoon, everyone. This is RAND. Welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Tuesday, April 2-3, 2024, after 3:15 p.m. Eastern. We will be having a time for change call tomorrow night around 9 p.m. Eastern, give or take. It's going to be a real humdinger. All of us are in this, I guess you could call it the great experience for our civilization. And the great experience is our transition. And the transition for some of us is we're aware of it. Okay? And we go into it. On the other hand, there's those of us who are not ready for it. And we don't go into it. And we don't go into it. So what happens? Well, we go through this lifetime and then we enter another one. What happens if we don't become aware in that lifetime? Then we just keep doing lifetimes until we become aware. And that's changing for all of us because more and more people are seeing things that they haven't seen before. And it isn't illusion and it isn't wishful thinking. It's just happening across the planet. And I'm talking with more and more people that volunteer it. It's not like I ask them, but they volunteer the fact that, is there anything to this? Why am I seeing orbs and that seem to follow me around? And why am I seeing this and that? Is it my imagination? I said, no, it's not your imagination. They've always been there. They've just been, I guess the best term for it is they've been disguised or shielded. And what does that mean? Well, it means that the veil, we call the veil, which hides a lot of things on the planet that we don't see. Why is that? Well, some things will jog our memories if we see them. And then we begin to identify with them because they seem so familiar. But it's not like we know that. See, it's where it's kind of, it's different to explain. And a lot of the times there's no words on this planet to explain it or identify it. But this is not imagination. These are things that that have always been around us. We just never saw them. And now we're starting to see them. And not only see, but feel different things, energies, energetics. And it's good that those of us who are aware to a certain extent begin to understand that and identify it, rather than being fearful with the ones that are unknowing, where they think it's some kind of boogeyman stuff, and it isn't. So when you look at this planet, and it cannot be contested, but it's not discussed or openly to the planetary population that we are being saturated 24/7, and we will be for the next few thousand years, of pure photonic light energy, which is what? It's what we're made of, the gods in these bodies. Who created it? We did, as part of the collective consciousness. Not something that just happened. We created it. It's like we create everything in this universe and beyond. Some people say, so did we create this holographic generated universe? Yes, we did. We also created those that operate it. What the heck for? So that we can experience. That's all it is, guys. It's just so we can experience. But here's the understanding for us all, is that we're too connected through our programming and conditioning to these bodies, right? And that kind of skews things for us. Because if you knew, and how, so one would say, well, how will I know when I am truly connected with the God that I am in this body? You won't be fearful. You won't be fearful of leaving the body. You just won't. And it's not through the ego mind, it's through the heart mind. It's not frivolous, it's not that kind of thing. It's an understanding. It's a deep eternal love, and you're deeply grateful for the body that you're in because you're experiencing material, physical life. That's what we all do. We will do it forever. Now, there is a point where we will get, as gods, where we will find it not really necessary anymore to inhabit physical material form. We just won't. And one might say, then are there gods that have reached that? Absolutely. Absolutely. Are we part of them? Yes. We all end up the same place. Now, it may not seem that way to a lot of us. Well, Betty Johnson, she just, nothing phases this and that, and she just, everything happens for her, but me over here, and I have to do this and that. How can we end up in the same place? We do. But yet, each of us experience things in different ways. It's just one life. Now, you imagine that all of us have had thousands of lifetimes, at least. So, and did anything happen to us? No. We leave the life. We're a ball of light. If you really want to know what we really look like, we're balls of light. Okay, you could take that ball of light, put it up in the space, and have 1,000 suns behind it. That ball of light would be brighter than those 1,000 suns. It is the highest of the highest high. It's the brightest of the brightest energy that there is. What about a pulsar? Isn't that bright? Yeah, that's bright. Is it brighter than the gods that we are? No. Well, how is a pulsar created? The collective consciousness. This universe is run and operated by the collective consciousness. Everything is. All that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And the collective consciousness, it continually advances and expands and grows. And one might say, well, then why do we have all of these? It seems so discombobulated here on this planet, and all these things happening, and it's so tiresome, and it's so boring because it keeps repeating itself, and it's the same stuff, and after a while it all kind of blends into itself because it's redundant. It shifts, and different times and different decades and generations, but we all understand, those of us who are aware to a certain extent, this is a repetitive process. It doesn't change, but it changes. So put it that way. The actual happenings are not what you would call fresh and new. Right? They're packaged differently, maybe. It's a different time, place, but it ends up being very similar or the same. So through the collective consciousness, the veils are being disintegrated, and we're starting to see things that have always been there. But we couldn't see them before or feel them. And what's creating that? The photon energy field that this solar system is going through. And that high frequency is what's shifting everything on the planet. Now, you may look at it from your eyes, okay, and think that it's a bunch of chaos and It's just really boring. You know? It's just boring. And you're not really feeling fearful about it because there's some familiarity to it that you've probably experienced in another lifetime. And so you know, inherently so, that you're not going to move yourself consistently into lower vibrational frequency, because we've all done that. None of us are new to it. We've done it for many lifetimes where we were seduced by the ego mind into these lower frequencies. So we focus from a lower frequency and we create things that we really don't care to experience. Now, if we looked at it from the standpoint of saying, well, everything is temporary. This body that I'm in currently is temporary. Everything around me is temporary. And eventually I will leave it behind. Now, that perspective is different because then we flow into high vibrational frequency of deep eternal gratitude. We're grateful for every moment. Heartfelt. When we wake up in the morning, you put your hands on your chest and you say, I am deeply grateful for this very moment I'm in. I'm deeply grateful for this day. And then you go, thank you, thank you. You do 9 times. Thank you, 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 thank you. And it shifts the whole energetic field around you. And it affects everybody that you get around or talk with. We are supremely powerful beings. That's not just for the heck of it saying it. That's what we are in these bodies. Collectively, we have created massive universes, galaxies, solar systems, species, bodies, right? Different species, bodies to house gods, so that those gods can experience physical material life in ways, a lot of different forms that you would never imagine. Because right now all we know is these bodies we're in. This is all we really know in this present moment. There's many other forms that we aren't aware of yet. And we meditate on what? We meditate on letting go and surrendering. Here in this country, when you say to someone, you've got to let go, see, the ego mind registers like that. And the ego mind says, no, you can't let go. Don't know. You're going to let go. It means I'll lose out. I'll lose things. Or surrender. I'm not going to surrender. What do I want to surrender? That means I'm giving up. See, those are kind of like psychological games the ego mind plays on us. Now, in the heart mind, you surrender, which means that you are not fighting with it. You're embracing it, whatever it may be. Fears about something that don't go away. They might fade out, fade back in. We've all been there, too. Worrying, right? We all do that. None of us are exempt from it. And I know, none of the gurus throughout the ages are exempt from it. It's funny that. But all of us, now it seems like we're separate, but we're not, and I think we know that. We're not, it's cool. It's kind of nice that we have these, like, different tracks, right? That we enter a body and we're in a family, whatever it may be, and we grow up and we're influenced and we're programmed by other people's thoughts and we form personality, character, through our experiences through this life, we may embrace a religion or two here or there along the way. Some of us, though, get to the point where we just start saying, I think it's time I start programming myself. I forgive all those people that program me with their thoughts. Not their fault. And it's not the people that program them. Not their fault. The civilization is in a redundancy existence, which means that we're in a loop, and the cycle has not been broken yet. And it's beginning to disintegrate, so to speak, which means that we become more aware of our thoughts. And we also know that our thoughts are just thoughts. And we choose which thought we want to add, so to speak, life to. Now, when you're in meditation and you send out a thought to the universe, okay, and it's very detailed, it's very clear. It's not haphazard. It's not, frivolous or loose, but it's very succinct and it's very detailed, it's very clear. And you send that to the universe while you're in meditation, in the now. And then you just let go. You surrender it. You don't really, if you need to, if you want to revisit it on occasion, wow, that's great. And you don't have expectations or attachments to it because you know why? Because it's already yours. It may sound funny to people. It's, well, I can't touch it, feel it, or experience it. How can all be mine? Because you already put the thought out, the intent. The universe it's already manifesting. Right? It'll be here. Yeah, and you're not going when, what time, at all. You're just saying, I know it will be. And you move on. It's like anything that any of us, whenever, however, anything that we focus on, that we put our attention on. And I don't mean, like a little and that's it, but something that we really focus on. Could be anything. Could be relationships, could be material, physical, a number of things. But we focus on it. And usually, here's what's interesting. The things that materialize are the things that we focus on. But we usually, and a lot of us don't know this, we're focusing on them through our heart-mind. And they manifest. One might say, well, what about the ego mind? Can we manifest things through the ego mind? Rarely. Rarely, because you understand the ego mind is yesterday and tomorrow. So a lot of people live, even though they're in the now, in the day, in the morning, whatever, they're living tomorrow or yesterday, but not at that very moment. They're not living that. And this is why so many of us suffer, worry, stress, fear, and with anxiety. Now, when we discover that, and we embrace the understanding that we do it, okay? It's not like I'm going to do this to myself. It's just habit. It's what we do. When something happens, could be anything. Let's say that you have a brand new vehicle, right? And you're very excited. And you go to the grocery store. You're going to get some things, you're going to celebrate. You say, you're either, or you could say, I'm going to take myself out to dinner. Either way, you're in the parking lot of the restaurant or you're in the parking lot of the grocery store. And so you come out and you see this big scratch along one of the panels of your vehicle. And your stomach sinks and you go. And even though it's trivial, even though it can be fixed, and it changes your frequency. Why? Because it's through the ego mind. And then everything else usually is ruined because of that. Your excitement, your enthusiasm, your happiness of enjoying the moment with whatever it is that you've manifested. And then this comes in, ego mind. Okay? And then when immediately you start saying, I wonder how much that's going to cost me. Right? Jeez. I wonder if my insurance will cover it. How soon am I going to be able to get it fixed? Is it going to start rusting immediately? Yeah, these are all ego mind tomorrow thoughts that we get sucked into. All right, are we exempt from it? No, not really. But if you switch your switch on the dash, so to speak, then you say, that's not a big deal. I get it fixed. It'll be fixable. No big deal. And you still go on and enjoy celebrating about it and excitement. Enthusiasm. That's a lot. It has a lot to do with your vibrational frequency. If you're not enthusiastic, it doesn't mean that you have to show it on the outside. You could just be full of it within. But if you're kind of like, someone says, aren't you excited? And you go, oh, yeah. It's just, it doesn't send out that vibe, see? And it's like we enjoy everything that we possibly can. This life is so short. The reason it's so short is that most of us, we don't have enough time to discover who and what we are. It's just not enough time for us. Well, how do we know that? It's a proven fact. You go down throughout the ages, it's just not enough time. 60, 70, 80, 90 years is not long enough. So then we start looking in a direction. So well, then we should be able to stay in these bodies a lot longer, so that we have a lot more time to discover who and what we are, and to move into higher and higher vibrational frequency knowingly. Isn't it amazing that every one of us within these bodies have the power to create anything we choose, yet we don't know it. We don't know it. That's real irony. It's just amazing, isn't it? Now, imagine if everybody did know it. What would be happening? Well, you would see kind of like rookie stuff going on where people were manifesting things that they really didn't need, and just because they could exercise the fact that they were powerful beings and they could manifest anything. That's ego mind. Would that happen? No, because we have discovered who and what we are, and we're in the heart mind. So it's not ego anymore. It's not wanting, having, getting. It's that we have everything we'll ever need, ever. See, we've been taught to do what? What have we all been taught to do in our programming while we're in these bodies? We have been taught to pursue, haven't we? To climb, to persevere, to get to the proverbial top of the ladder in society. However we do it, however, it doesn't matter. Not the conventional, you get old enough, go to school, get a house, and get married and have children and white picket fence. Now it's much more diverse, but it's still in the same venue. So, but we didn't know that actually the opposite. So what happens? What do you pursue things? No, you act. You can act on certain things that you manifest through the universe. But it'll come in. It's presented to us. It's not like, most of us try too hard. And when we do that, we push things away from us. When we stop trying hard is when it comes to us. When we stop rushing through this life is when it comes to us. Some of us are beginning to understand that. Also, see, why do you think so many of us are rushing around in life? Darting here, darting there, got to get this done, got to get that done, da 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 da. And of course, we create that load on ourselves. Well, we're afraid we're going to miss something, aren't we? It's why we rush around. We're afraid that we won't get everything done, or we won't experience this and that. And we've got to get it done, right? And so we rush through life. And you've heard me say it before, it's like the tortoise and the hare story. Right? The rabbit doesn't enjoy the journey. All it cares about is winning. Now the tortoise, slow and methodical, enjoys the journey. Looking around, experiencing things along the way. But people who rush don't. And when you rush, you damage the soul. Have you ever met somebody that's just that way? That they talk fast, right? And they're always kind of fidgety moving, right? Got to get this. Oh, it's nice talk. I got to go. I got to get this done now. Oh, boy, I got so much thing I got to do. And you're almost exhausted after you've had that encounter with someone. You kind of sit back and go, wow, what are they teaching me? See, there we go. You say, what did that person just teach me? Not to rush through life. You see how it is? How we're giving, each of us in different ways, people come in and they give us kind of reflections of things. And if we're aware enough, we say, what are they teaching me? Well, obviously, that being was teaching me not to rush. Wow, that's not for me. Have you ever been behind someone or something? Right? And you have a schedule and you're late. Right? You didn't think you were going to be late, but, one thing led to another, and you're late for something. Let's say you're in your car or truck or whatever, and you're constantly looking at the clock, and you're just not relaxed at all. And you get behind somebody that's driving really slow. Now, you add that to your already hurried energies, and it's very powerful. And so what do? Oh, you got to be kidding me. I cannot believe I got behind a grandmother. They're driving so slow, I'll never get there. I might as well just forget it. This is it. You see how we tumble? It's just say, well, there's a reason for this. So you know what? I'm going to embrace it and go with it. Period. And not worry about, what's going to happen when I get there, and I'm, what are the people going to think because I'm late? No, I got behind someone who was enjoying life. That's what I've said on occasion. You what? I got behind a driver that was enjoying life. They were driving slow and just enjoying life. See, you'll know. And people have said, well, when do you know? When are you going to know? You'll know that you are free completely when you're not concerned about what other people think or say about you. You just don't care. It's nothing that you even give the time of day to. Genuinely. Then you'll know that you're free, and you'll know that you've mastered the ego mind and your thoughts. When it gets to that point where you really truly know and embrace it, you really don't care. See, the society of this planet, which is the human psyche, that's what it teaches us, that we got to worry about what other people think about us. Well, why is it that way? Ego mind. Ego mind is our master when we feel that way. There's certain things that you would like to do, but you don't do them because you're afraid it won't be accepted. Right? So you don't do them and you conform. And none of us should be conformists. We should be the opposite, wild and free. And I don't mean that in a negative connotation. We should be wild and free. That's what we as the true gods in these bodies are, wild and free. That's why we live these lives to the fullest, because we don't know how long we're going to have them. Not yet, not yet. And even when we do, we will be deeply grateful that we do have them for longer than we've ever had them before. Because you know what? Even in immortality, a piano could fall on you from an upper floor. A bus could hit you. So there's always avenues that can occur. So we look at every day, every moment that we're in, every single moment, that we're in deep gratitude for it. And that we have fun and we enjoy life and we stay out of yesterday and tomorrow. And we leave them alone. Leave the mind alone, leave the ego alone. And then we can watch them. Any of us can do that. You do this in the meditation. That's how we do it. You could have a walking meditation. You could have a laughing meditation. You could just be standing in the grocery line at the store and have a meditation. You could be sitting there saying, I'm going to focus on my breath, and I'm just going to experience it rising and falling. That puts you right in the now. And it's a practice that you choose or you don't choose. And it's nothing fanatical. It's something that we embrace because we want to. We're not told to do it. We just decide for ourselves that, hey, I want to do this now. I think it's time for me to start doing this. And I'm not doing it for anybody else. I'm doing it for me. Because see, you do it for yourself, eventually your transition and your cosmic energy, your pure energy, the God that you are, will affect everybody around you. When you're happy and you feel good. And you feel good for no reason. See, then you start getting a taste of who and what you are. Why are you so happy? Right? Have you ever had that happen? Why are you so happy? Like what? And you say, I just am. There's no particular reason. Isn't that strange? It's like people they'll notice that. And you're not putting it on. Yeah, you're not trying to impress anybody. You're just happy. You feel good. And there's no reason. You don't have to have a reason to feel good. Then that's bubbling up from within you as the God that you are. And you're getting a taste of it. Or have you ever just been, traveling along and you just get this surge that comes up through your chest and heart and up your spinal column and you just feel fabulous. You ever done that? And you go, wow, this is great. But it doesn't stay. It's like a little teaser, and it leaves. But when you start identifying, that's the God that I am bubbling up within me. That's just a little taste of it. And so what does that do with our frequencies? Oh, goodness. They keep going up and up and up. What does that do? It affects everybody around us, everything. Believe it or not, it affects trees and flowers, birds and bees because of your frequency. See, have you ever been sad for any reason? You're by yourself. And maybe you're out in nature. A lot of people go sit out in nature. Go take a walk, whatever. And you inevitably know that the other life forms start coming around you because they're doing what they can to see if they can help you increase your vibrational frequency. That's why they show up. And that's when you notice. You might be looking at something in nature, and all of a sudden you kind of have a crack a smile. And you get a light feeling, and you're no longer depressed. And then you forget about what you were depressed about. And see, there's no reason for any of us to be depressed. And the only reason that we do become depressed is because the ego mind is our master. The only reason. Now, in heart-mindedness, do you get depressed? No. There's no reason to be depressed. You're alive. That body, life is God. But in the ego mind, there's a lot of depressed people on this planet, right in this very now moment. Heart mind, no way, Jose. There's a song, a lot of you have heard it through the years. I think the most entertaining that performed it was Louis Armstrong. And this song is It's a Wonderful Life. And it's a great song to listen to because it draws your attention on exactly that. This is a wonderful life that I'm experiencing. It doesn't matter where you're at financially. It doesn't matter about any of the material physical world, because what does that do? You increase your vibrational frequency even when you just smile, genuinely. So what happens when you increase your vibrational frequency? You begin to feel better and much more optimistic and much more focused. When you drop, the opposite end of that is you drop into, people say this life of theirs sucks. And they don't even know why they're having this life. And that frequency, see, they're focused on that, and that frequency keeps going down, down, down. And what happens? More of that crap starts coming in. And that's where you hear people say, what did I do to deserve this? What the heck did I do to deserve this? I'm not a bad person. I'm a good person. See how that ego mind starts to work? And then you say, wait a minute here. This big neon stop sign comes up in front of you and you say, okay, it's my decision to either continue down this negative road or to say there's no reason to. It takes a lot more out of us to be in the negative direction than it does a positive. And sure, negative things come up on occasion, but it's all in how we look at them, how much time we give them. See, and then there's always a flip side. You might see something you experience as negative, then you turn around and go, what's the other side of this? What is this teaching me? So we become aware, we begin to fine-tune our vibrational frequencies, and we know the higher they get, the more we enjoy life. The more we learn about who and what we are in these bodies. So it's always about our frequency. And once we're cognizant to that, and remember, we're not in the ego mind, so we can watch things and say, oh, this road right here, which I've traveled many times, is a negative road. I don't care to do that again. I've learned all I need to learn from those negative roads. So then, see, you can stop yourself do an about face, go the other way, which is positivity genuinely through the heart-mind. You say, well, I don't know how long I'm going to have this life, and I'm going to enjoy it. Why in the heck would I weigh it down with negative vibrational frequencies? Doesn't make any sense. So it's self-awareness for us. And it's our frequency that we put out there. And it doesn't matter. We put it out there every single second. Doesn't matter if you're in a crowd. Doesn't matter if you're on the phone. Doesn't matter if you're in front of a computer. You put it out. So in the quiet time of this meditation, look at all of it's like you're in a room, okay? And you're focused on your breath. You're as still as a statue. You're relaxing into the body. And your breath is rising and falling. And you notice, clear as a bell, all these different, they're like people, but they're negative images, and they're all standing there in this room with you. And then opposite of them are all these positive images. And you look at all the negatives and you say, hey, I love all you guys, but I've chosen not to go there. It was nice meeting you all. Give them all a hug and they go away. They disappear. Then you turn to the group that's all positive and you say, I've learned a lot about being in a negative way in this life, and most likely many other lifetimes. So it's not like I haven't experienced this for myself. But now I've learned the difference between the two and the effects that they have on me and others. So I choose to focus on the positive aspects of things. Even if a negative thing comes in, I look at the other side of it in the positive light. Watch what happens without expectations. I'll join you in the meditation. I'll return to close this out. Take an easy and slow breath in through the nose. An easy and slow breath out from the mouth. Remain still. Feelings are what make life extremely rich and juicy. They give your life dimension and create a more intimate and personal experience of reality. Your feelings enable you to heal yourself as well as accept the infinite mystery of this life. For today, allow yourself to let down your protective shields with this world and explore how you really feel about yourself, others, and this world today. Give yourself permission to feel everything and anything you can. Invite in and explore every type of feeling that comes into your body today. Confront the feelings you've been avoiding. Breathe deeply into them. Sit with them. Simply feel them. Keep your mind and heart open to this rich, rewarding, egoless experience. This is your turn to be emotionally free. Trust your feelings. Stop resisting them. Dive into each one with an open heart, full of curiosity, wonder, and courage. When you stop trying to manage and control your emotions, they will transform you from the inside out. Take this with you for the rest of the day and the evening and night and the following morning. We will return here Wednesday, April 24, 2024. We'll after 3:15 p.m. Eastern to continue our global guided meditation call, and give or take around 9 p.m. Eastern to continue our time for change call. Gentle, kind, generous, and humble with yourself at all times. Being the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest. Eternal gratitude at all times. And watch the magic begin.